you can capture them, you can play with them, you can battle with them, and you can store your captured friends in boxes. That's right. It's PalWorld. It is definitely not a knockoff of that other game that we all know and love. Actually, it's more like a combination of like 3 games that we all know and love, but we'll talk about that later. Hey Falcon Force, welcome back to Nest. In this video, I'll be reviewing a new game that just came onto the market, PalWorld. This game looks pretty interesting and I can't wait to review it, which is why we're here right now, so let's hop right into it. So what is PalWorld? Well, PalWorld is an upcoming action-adventure survival game by Japanese developer Pocket Pair. The game is set in an open world populated with animal-like creatures known as pals. The players can battle and capture pals in order to use them for base building, traversal, and combat. Your main goal is to capture pals and use them to build up your base so that you can explore and find out the secrets of this crazy world. Sadly, after playing the game for an hour and 30 minutes, I didn't really get very far. I pretty much only built up my base and that was it. Not off to a good start if I'm being honest. I probably would have stopped playing the game if I wasn't recording a review for it, but I'm so glad I kept on playing it, because things did change a little down the line and they got a lot more fun. First up, let's talk about the graphics. They look great when you're looking at the grand scope of the whole world, but there was a few factors I noticed that brought down the immersion into this big world. While the grass, trees, and creatures looked amazing, the rocks and other minables didn't keep the same consistency. I wouldn't mind if that was the style they were going for, but I mean, I don't think they want this to look like this. The pals looked awesome though. They had their own animation for battle, harvesting, and even crafting. I didn't really see any hiccups, although I thought eliminating them was pretty amusing because they just ragdoll afterwards. I saw 2 NPCs while playing my adventure, and they seemed pretty well done. I'm not sure how many NPCs are in the game, but if they have as much variety between me, the girl that I saw, and the traveling merchant, they should be fine. Okay, maybe the graphics aren't too bad, but what about the sound? Some might call me snobby for wanting good sound in video games, but others will understand that having good sound creates almost all the immersion. This game, however, did not make me feel immersed. At all, really. While it did have ambiance and slight music during battle, the rest of the sounds came out very crackly. It almost sounded retro, like it was coming out of a Nintendo DS, which I wouldn't exactly call pretty. The creatures sounded very low budget, and sadly, so did the sound effects and the very minimal voice acting at the beginning of the game. There wasn't any vocal lines, but more like voice clips. Now, I did go back and watch other streamers, and it might have just been a glitch on my side, but that's what I had pretty much my whole experience of playing the game. Even though they didn't sound too good for my experience, they had sounds for every interaction in the game. Everything I did had a sound. There were sounds for walking, building, fighting, climbing, cooking, fighting, swimming, capturing creatures, fighting. Let's just move on to the next part so I can talk about fighting, please. It's time for gameplay, which is pretty much the most important facet for any game, and it failed on that too. Nah, I'm joking. It was actually really good. Before actually hopping into the game, I got to customize my character. There was a good variety, and I enjoyed making my character look as much like me as I could. Look at him. Doesn't he look great? I noticed you couldn't name your characters, and I was interested to see if the characters carried over to other worlds, so I asked the internet. Thanks, internet. You've done it again. You answer my questions perfectly every single time. Thanks, internet. Dang it, I can't carry my character into another world. I have to do all that work all over. Gameplay got off to a rocky start since the first 30 minutes of me playing the game was just learning what I needed to do, but afterwards, I was on a roll. Somehow they made collecting materials, capturing pals, and building really fun. I made a list of pros and a list of cons for this game, so let's talk about those. First, the pros. Character creation has a wide variety to pick from and doesn't limit creativity. The crafting was really clean, and with pals, the task could be completed in a short amount of time. The world building is spectacular. I was playing for a whole hour and still felt like I explored nothing. I still kind of wish I was playing right now just so I could explore some more. Each pal was unique and had traits, stats, and proficiencies like collecting, crafting, building, farming, fighting, and so much more I haven't figured out yet. The fighting was very fast-paced and entertaining. And with pals, that feeling was increased tenfold. Each pal has abilities to help you when they're in your party, like this cat dude can increase my inventory size. Thanks, little cat dude. I didn't feel weak even though I had nothing. The creatures in this world felt more realistic in the sense that with the right tools, you could take on any pal creature. Yeah, I definitely don't have the right tools to take down that one. Let's run out of here. Pals can help you with almost every task so long as you have the right pal for the job. It didn't take too long to level up and unlock new items. There was always more to do. Now let's talk about the cons. The sound design was great, but the quality sounded very low budget. Now, like I said, I watched other streams and their quality sounded great, so I wonder if it was just a glitch on my side. I probably should have tried restarting the game, but I did not. The quality of graphics changed based on the objects rather than the settings. There was no music other than the occasional fighting. After creating an item, you actually have to pick it up. You can have your creatures make items for you, and some creatures will even put it away for you. I still think I should get the item if I'm the one crafting it, but I digress. It's not a big deal. Building a house was my least favorite part. You can't continuously build walls or floors. You have to switch to the item each and every time you place down a platform. Despite the trailer, the only gun that I saw was the NPC at the beginning of the game. And they didn't even use it! The creature's lifeless bodies never left the map after I killed them. They simply remained, taunting me and making me feel bad for what I did to survive. I didn't get a lot of pals until 45 minutes of gameplay. Some pals died before I could catch them. And after looking at the wiki, I found out that killing pals is actually illegal. So I'm sorry, I didn't know. I played innocence. Okay, leave me alone. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to do it. Some might take this as a good thing, but I was playing for an hour and a half and I felt like I got nowhere. For people who have jobs and school, this isn't really the greatest thing. They barely have time to play games as it is, let alone when they play a game, they have to play it for an hour and 30 minutes to basically achieve nothing. Nonetheless, I thought it was still pretty fun, so even though I did play it for that long, I guess they did achieve something. I was entertained. I'll admit, even though the graphics, sound design, and game time were a little less than par in my eyes, the game itself was actually really fun. Although, if you've been watching the gameplay that I've been showing this whole video, you'll notice something pretty interesting. They've looked like these other games that we've seen before. All of those right there. They look like those games. Now, I have no problem with the game taking inspiration from other games, but this game flat out takes all the concepts from those games, mixes them together, and made their own world out of it. I wouldn't exactly call it stealing, since the creatures don't look exactly like Pokemon, and the world doesn't look exactly like Breath of the Wild. The gameplay, however, felt so much like those games. Fighting felt like Breath of the Wild and Pokemon. The exploration felt like Ark and Breath of the Wild. Crafting was just flat out Ark survival, honestly. The game as a whole isn't something we haven't seen before, but come on. We all love a little stealing and plagiarism sometimes. I'm just joking. We're joking. Don't do that. Don't plagiarize. I am saying, though, there's nothing wrong with a little idea combination sometimes, and as a matter of fact, it's fun. It created this fun game. It uses features like combat, crafting, and catching Pokemon to fully immerse yourself into the world. I mean, pals. I got lost in the creation and detail there was into this game. I actually loved it despite all the cons I found about it. Maybe I just need to play the game more. Anyways, that's the end of my PalWorld review. I do hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to leave a like. Tell me what you guys liked and didn't like about the game. Was my review up to par to your review of the game, if you guys have played it? And if you guys haven't played it, I encourage you guys to go check it out. It's on Game Pass, so you guys can get it for free over there and play the game preview. Or if you guys want to buy the game, it's about $30. So go check it out. Go download it. Go play it. You can even play it with friends. It's multiplayer. So go have some fun. Go start some carnage. Catch some Pokemon. Pals. Thank you guys for watching Falcon Force, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong and fly on. There we go. Yes, I use a script, okay? Leave me alone.